Welcome back. President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to open the Booysens Magistrates Court. This will be one of the specialized courts for gender-based violence. Our reporter covering the story for us is Itekani Magwedze. Itekani, a very good morning to you. Has the president come through yet?
Good morning, Desiree, and good morning to our viewers. The president hasn't arrived here, but he is expected any moment now. He's expected to be in front of the court, opening the, cutting the ribbon to officially open the court. Of course, we know that he's also going to be signing the gender-based violence and femicide declaration. This is, of course, at the back of last year's nationwide shutdown, where women went out to different places, including the union buildings, where they made their voices heard in terms of their cries and pleading with the government, saying that not much was being done against the plight of women, the violence that women and children suffer under the hands of men. This is just one of the commitments that were made by the president at the summit in November, where he said that he is going to establish a structure that would ensure that they would deal with gender-based violence, sexual offences, and one of the things that are going to be, or one of the services that this court is going to give, of course, is gender-based violence, sexual offences, harassment, and it's also going to deal with child court matters. So quite a lot is, under this roof. We know that it cost the government about 242 million rand. So it's a visible effort by the government to ensure that they deal with the scourge of gender-based violence.
Give us a sense of the mood there, Tekani. Have you been able to interact with any of the gender-based civic organizations?
Well, a lot of guests have started to arrive here quite early on. There is a queue outside. We've seen a number of people who look like they come from gender-based organizations wearing their shirts. Of course, quite a lot of women as well, because you would understand that following their cries and their pleads and the action that they partook in last year to ensure that the government hears their cry, they would want to be here to see the fruits of their labor, to say. So we've interacted with some of them. They're quite excited at the opening of this court. We also know that there is already a case that is underway in court. We will be going through the court on a tour of the facility. We understand it's high-end quality. It's a high-end quality facility, and it is set out to ensure that gender-based violence is, of course, dealt with. But quite a lot of excitement from the guests here. We have prosecutors, we have people within the justice sector who have come to honor this. But of course, the women who went out marching last year are top of the list in terms of the people who are being honored here.
Itekani, what do we expect the declaration to contain?
Well, we haven't seen or had the privilege of looking into the declaration, but according to a few conversations that we've had with people here within the justice sector, we expect that it will endeavor to commit the government to continue to fight against gender-based violence as one of the things that it will contain. But we will, of course, get the benefit of looking into the declaration as soon as it's signed, and we will be bringing that to you as well.
So a fully fledged sexual offences court, what will differentiate the officials who work in this court as opposed to any other ordinary court?
Well, In the past, especially in Gauteng, because there was no gender-based or sexual offences court, the sexual offences cases were, of course, heard at the magistrates court, and it is not equipped in terms of the support that women or the victims of gender-based violence and sexual offences and violence against children. It wasn't equipped with the kind of people that would be able to counsel those people and give them that necessary support. And this court is equipped with that. We understand that there is an organization that will be located or hosted within the court to ensure that the victims of these kind of violences and the scourge are given the necessary support and are treated with the necessary caution and care and sensitivity, because you would understand that these kind of acts and these kind of atrocities against the victims are quite sensitive. And there are a number of cases, there are a lot of cases that of course fall between the cracks because these cases aren't treated correctly in terms of the sensitivity that you're supposed to apply when in fact investigating or even talking to these people and getting the necessary information that the victims went through and the necessary evidence from them. So it will be equipped with the right people, equipped with the skills that are needed to treat these cases and the victims accordingly.
Thank you so much. Itekani Magwedze is on that story. The President, Cyril Ramaphosa, will be at the court launching this initiative later today and also signing the gender-based violence and femicide declaration. Some of the features of this court will include a fully fledged sexual offences court, family law services such as maintenance, domestic violence, harassment and children's court matters, small claims court services, and civil and criminal court services, regional and district. Blaine?